Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoy this episode. We have a lot in store for you here, so stay tuned.
Under the patronage of the Minister of Culture, Dr. Navini Kileni, the ministry organizes a number of diverse cultural and artistic events and activities on the occasion of the centenary of the people's artist, legendary musician Sayyid Darwish. Sayyid Darwish was an Egyptian singer and composer who was born in 1892 and died in 1923. He is considered the father of Egyptian popular music and one of Egypt's greatest musicians, and seen by some as its single greatest composer. This comes within the framework of the ministry's program to celebrate and commemorate Egypt's cultural symbols in gratitude for what they have accomplished, and in a way that aims to preserve our cultural content, which is full of treasures of art and knowledge. In the context of the anniversary of the so-called The People's Artists, the Cairo Opera House, headed by Dr. Khalid Degher, is organizing many diverse events that are held at its theaters in Cairo, Alexandria, and Damanhur. A concert by the Arab Heritage Music Ensemble is held on the Arab Music Institute Stage Theater. Another concert is held at the Small Stage Theater at the Cairo Opera House premises, which hosts a cultural symposium hosted by Dr. Rania Yahya, Dean of the Higher Institute of Art Criticism, in addition to the participation of the Sayyid Darwish Friends Association and the Sayyid Darwish Heritage Band. The Opera House also hosts a cultural saloon on Sayyid Darwish's musical legacy. A cultural saloon is also organized to present the biography of the musician Sayyid Darwish, including an artistic presentation of some of his songs, in addition to a review of the history of each song. The Cinema Club also screens the film Fingerprints, which is based on the biography of Sayyid Darwish, and the club is to host a group of specialists to talk about the history and works of the people's artist. This comes in addition to a concert by the Children and Youth Choir of the Talent Development Center and a concert by the Alexandria Opera Band for Arab music and singing are held at the Sayyid Darwish Theater, with another concert at the Alexandria Opera by Sayyid Darwish's Heritage Band. The National Library and Archives House also organizes a number of events on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the People's Artist, including a documentary exhibition that is held in the lobby of the Supreme Council with the important manuscripts written about the artist Sayyid Darwish in newspapers, magazines, and periodicals, whether it is during his life or after. On the occasion of the 20th anniversary of its opening, the Alexandria National Museum opens for Egyptians and foreign visitors a variety of artistic, cultural, and educational events. Head of the museum sector of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, Mu'min Osman, explained that the museum organizes a variety of cultural, artistic, and educational activities, which include an exhibition, art workshops, and a series of lectures and seminars that shed light on the beauty of the city of Alexandria and its distinguished tourist attractions. The Alexandria Museum building is an architectural masterpiece in the heart of the city, and it is characterized by its European Renaissance architecture derived from Italian architecture. The building of the museum was a palace for one of the wealthy Alexandrians, Asad Pasha Basili, who commissioned the Alexandrian engineer of French origin, Victor Erlanger, to build the palace. Since 1928, Asad Pasha Basili resided in the palace until 1954. Then he sold it to the United States Embassy until after it became the headquarters of the American consulate, until the Supreme Council of Antiquities purchased it in 1996, converting it into a museum and opening it in 2003. The museum tells the story of all historical eras that it represents with its civilization, culture, arts, and industry of Egypt, starting from the era of ancient Egyptian dynasties, passing through the Platonic, Roman, Byzantine, and Islamic eras, and then the contemporary era. The museum scenario displays distinguished artifacts in its chronological sequence. It is divided into several sections from the oldest to the most recent. The ancient Egyptian section, the Greco-Roman section, the Coptic and Islamic sections, and the modern section. Among the most important artifacts on display are a statue of the god Amun, the head of the statue of King Akhenaton, the head of the statue of Queen Hatshepsut, the head of the statue of Alexander the Great, the statue of the idol Serpas, the statues of a number of Roman emperors, a Bible cover, the icon of the Last Supper, a glass lantern, a helmet from the Ottoman era, and a Farouk I University medal.
The Korean Culture Center in Cairo organized the Korean Culture Week under the title Korea Live, which brings Korea's rich culture to Egypt at the National Museum of the Egyptian Civilization and under the auspices of the Korean Embassy in Cairo.
I'm very glad to hold this year's Korea Culture Week at this very important, iconic museum. This Korean Culture Week we would like to share with Egyptian people what Korean people's culture and way of life, traditional and modern. So I'm quite new here. I've been here Cairo 3 months now, and I'm very much grateful for very friendly Egyptians, very kind Egyptians, their warm welcome. And I like to share that through this Korean Culture Week, that the mutual understanding and the people's friendly ties. Korea Culture Week will last 1 week, beginning with Korean traditional music and dance, and as you said, literature and experience of some Korean things. So colorful, various activities and performance and exhibition displays. So I'm very glad that we have this Korean Culture Week every year. So I also hope to continue these activities in the years to come. I'm very glad to learn that there are many K-pop online fan clubs, and many Egyptian young people's activities, or K-pop or K-food. And many young Egyptians, they like to learn Korean language, and they like to know about Korea. So this kind of mutual understanding of each other's culture is very important to promoting the friendly and cooperative relations between our two nations and two peoples. I very much appreciate Egyptian people's love for Korean culture, K-pop and Gugak. Even Gugak is a Korean traditional music, and a couple of days ago, the KCC Korea Culture Center opened a K-pop academy and the Gugak Academy, where the Egyptian people can learn for 2 weeks program, and after that 2 weeks program they will perform themselves at the closing of this cultural week. Egypt is absolutely the cradle, one of the most important cradle of human civilization, and has a long, splendid history and rich culture. I'm fascinated with the Egyptian culture and the Egyptian people since I arrived here in Cairo about 3 months ago. So I'm kind of, very busy meeting people and learning about Egyptian, not only their economic and industries business, but also their culture and history. So amazing history and amazing culture. So I really hope that Korean people also, in general, they are very much fond of Egypt. They know that pyramids and Sphinx and also Suez Canal and their, very various historic events. But I think that I hope that the modern image of Egypt also be much more known to Korean public, Korean people, so that they have a more balanced, more complete understanding of each other. So those mutual understanding definitely will put people closer together and will contribute to promoting a friendly and cooperative relations, which we enjoy excellently.
A part of the Korean Culture Week activities, an exhibition displayed a large scale of Korea's rich cultural heritage items, including Korean traditional musical instruments, living space in Korea, and hanji. Hanji is Korea's traditional handmade paper, and paper used to be called white paper, which represents the pure heart and the strong spirit of the Korean nation.
I think culture simply builds bridges, and we have to walk across these bridges by looking at what the culture has to offer, and this can be music, dancing, food is I think very important, but also traveling and sightseeing. So coming to Egypt, presenting the culture of a country, inviting Egyptians to come and visit, I think is a fantastic idea. So tonight it's Korea, but there have been other events as well at this museum, which it's in itself calls itself the Museum of Egyptian Civilization. So it's already a very strong message that the museum wants to present Egypt as a civilization, as a very old civilization that offers a lot to cooperate, to engage with, and to build those bridges where people can meet. Well, culture for us is extremely important. It's a very strong foundation of the European Union. We have a motto that says united in diversity, meaning we have different types of culture, we have different types of background, but we are all united, and we draw strength from that diversity. So we have different languages, we have different, I think, traditional foods and so on, and music. But nevertheless, it unites everybody because it gives everybody an occasion to talk, to engage, to learn from the other. And I think that's the important part. What is normally risky and dangerous when you're afraid of the other? By going out, by opening up, by inviting, by talking, by have cultural exchanges, you break down these barriers. Well, I think it's again a venue where it's a place where different streams of music come together. So it's of course classical Arabic music, Egyptian music, but I've been also in wonderful opera evenings and Western music and Austrian music and Italian music in particular. So it's a place where again you bring people together and you exchange and you enjoy the universal language of music.
The event brought a variety of Korean music, culture and arts activities, in which the opening ceremony was decorated with live stage folk performances composed of Korean traditional music and dance, which gives the chance to discover Korea's unique art, culture and music through different traditional Korean instruments.
Well, it was a wonderful performance and very unique actually, because Australia is a modern country and we are a mix of cultures, but we don't have and many indigenous performances. So to see this ancient Korean performance of dance and drums and music and sort of storytelling, it was wonderful, and Nemik is such a great venue for it as well. Exactly. I mean, Nemik is famous for having performances from a number of countries, as the director mentioned at the start, and it's my hope that one day we will have some Australian indigenous performances here too. So we have dance companies that could come, and I think this would be a wonderful location for it.
I started this journey in 2006. That was a very long time ago. At that time, Korean culture, Korean language wasn't that popular here in Egypt. So I decided to carry on this career to introduce Korean culture and Korean language in Egypt. And so I traveled in Korea in 2008, and then I went to grad school there at SNU, Seoul National University, from 2011 to 2019, where I conducted my graduate research until I acquired my PhD. And then after I returned to Egypt, well, if you compare between this time and the time I started learning Korean, there was a huge development in the relations and the culture, and people started to be aware of the language. So it's not weird if you say, hey, I speak Korean. No, people are used to that. And you go everywhere, you can see Korean or K-brands everywhere. I'm not talking brands, I'm saying Korean books, so K-book, K-drama on Netflix, music everywhere, and like today we've seen traditional folk music, and it was really good. Everybody was enjoying themselves, and they were like clapping and engaging with the stage. So I believe that the gap between Egypt and Korea, culturally speaking, has grown very small in the past, let's say, 10 years, and I believe that in the future it's going to get closer. Okay, we're living in the globalization era, so we're not distant countries anymore, and the more you know about countries outside and their cultures, the more you start to compare and find similarities and differences and learn from one another. Like take the good things from here and there and start to open conversation to learn new things and explore new things together. So even like geographically speaking, Egypt and Korea are far from one another and it would take a day to get there by plane. But still, if you just get to know one another, it doesn't feel that far anymore. I like to think that my career so far has done a small part, at least, in getting both countries closer to one another. I see this through my students every day, and I see their passion about Korean language and Korean culture. Most of them are here today helping out with the event, and they're going to be doing that in the coming week. So I'm looking forward to more and more of that.
Korea's Culture Week brings the vibrant Korean culture to the Egyptian nation and aims to support the connection between the two countries in creative and arts fields and to ensure the cultural ties between the two countries with their rich history and valuable heritage. Shuru Bikir, Cultural Magazine.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more here on Nile TV.